Okay, so tomorrow's the big day. I'm gonna start working on the beast to get the winch to pick up. Came out and took some measurements today. Of course, I've been busy all day. I've been working on lawnmowers. I think I got 3 done today. Was that 3? I guess, yeah, 3. I got a wheel on this one. I serviced this one and put a belt on it. And I had a push mower. It's already gone. That needed a carburetor. And then Sunday I'll work on this one. If the beast is done, I'm sure it will be. So I've decided that I need to be 38 inches off the ground. That the winch, no, at 33 inches, excuse me. That the winch, no, that's not true either. The back wheels need to be 33 inches. I guess it's 33 inches. Anyway, doesn't matter. What I need is I need to cut the board at 38 inches off the ground. That will get the same height as my lawnmower lift. So if I wanted to lift a lawnmower completely off the ground, of course I got jack stands. I wouldn't trust just the lawnmower, the beast winch. But I could lift the front wheels off the ground with this, lift the back wheels off the ground with the winch. Of course, I would do it in reverse. You lift the back wheels up, and then lift the front wheels up, because it would be able to sway a little bit on the winch, and the beast would be able to move. Whereas if you're lifting up and the lawnmower can't come forward, this starts to lean this way. So you gotta be careful about that. So you wanna make sure your back wheels are always unlocked. Come on, that fell out. That's not good. I'll have to tighten that up later. So, again, I've been trying to figure this out all day. Well, actually, I've been trying to figure it out for a while, trying to figure out everything I want. But now I got the 2x4s. Bought those last night. So, my biggest concern is, do I need front end weight? That is my biggest concern, because I really don't want to put anything on the front end. If I have to, I will. That way, I told you in yesterday's video that if I have to, I even bought the bolts for it just in case. I'll put a 2x6 from here to here, and that way I can put blocks on it, stack them up. So I wanted to do a little experiment, and I got the piece of wood. I just jammed it in there for now. It won't be a true representation. I probably weigh 170 pounds. I don't know how much a back end of a lawnmower weighs, to be honest. But I can lift the engine by myself, 75, 100 pounds. And you know, a lot of the weight would be on the front wheels. So now the fulcrum, let's say it's going to be about right here. That's where the board is going to get cut, roughly around there, somewhere around there, here or here. But I've got a board here which would put my fulcrum out even higher than where I'm at. So that if I jump on this, it should give it more ability to lift the front end of the lawnmower than if it's over here. I will be able to lift more weight here without lifting the front end than I can here. So let's just say, you know, 170 pounds, 200 pounds. I've been around, I've been up to 190 once in my life. I didn't like it. So I'm going to jump on this, see if we can see me in the camera. Okay. Nope, it didn't budge. I don't know if you can see. Maybe I'll move the camera back even further. See if you can see the lawnmower. See the whole thing. Keep my camera from falling over. I think you can see everything. So now we'll see if the front end moves up. The only thing I sense is the board is actually bending more than the lawnmower's lifting up. I think we're going to be okay. Especially with the fulcrum being so far down. I think I'm saying that right, the fulcrum. Not, you know what I'm talking about. The larger the angle out here, you know, well, if you use a breaker bar on your wrench, you're putting a higher fulcrum on it, giving it more torque. So that's what I'm doing here by sending this way out here, giving it more torque to lift that front end up, and it's not lifting. This is kind of a positive thing for me because I really don't want to build that on there. I might one of these days, but I just don't see the point right now. I don't think I'm going to be lifting anything that terribly heavy. Besides that, the 2x4 only can take so much weight. So, I don't know how much, well, I think I do know, 600 pounds. So, anyway, tomorrow we're going to get started on that. And now tomorrow, I'm not going to record all of the activity. I'll just record stages of it. And the reason is because I'm not exactly sure how I'm doing this. I've got a pretty good idea, but me trying to operate the camera and trying to figure things out at the same time just wouldn't work. When I did the truck, I had everything figured out. Knew exactly what I wanted to do. Had all the measurements, but now, you know, I'm kind of guesstimating. I think that's where it's going to be. So what I'll do is I'll put one board, and Carolyn's going to have to help me hold the board, so she's not on camera. So of course that takes away the ability to record a video also. So I'll cut one board, I'll drill in one board, then I'll cut it, you know, I'll attach it to the lawnmower, and I'll cut it where I think I want it. And once I have the first board done the way I want it, then I'll do the second board, just duplicate the first board. That way I don't mess up anything. But tomorrow's video will just be doing experiments. What can it lift? And if it can lift a 0 turn, then that'll be great. And of course, I'll come over here, I'll lift this, and tow it around. I don't think that's going to be a problem at all. But like I said in yesterday's video, I want to make sure that the cable doesn't come up and hit this thing. So I might have to make something that won't be hard to make. And I probably, if I don't have to make a front end, I probably even have an extra bolt to make that work. And I'm pretty excited about this, as you probably can tell. So business is, I mean, I got 4 0 turns here. I mean, that's just incredible. Had 2 push mowers that are gone. I got this push mower I'll work on tomorrow. That'll be at 9:30. The part will be here. Well, when the mailman gets here, I'll stop what I'm doing over there. I'll finish that, and then this one's ready to go. I should probably start this one again just to make sure it's running. I don't know if you saw that. Now that the camera, well, if you didn't, I'm sorry. I'll put a message down there. Sorry the camera angle was bad, but one pull, started right up. So that's a high price. That's an okay price. The carburetor was cheap on that. That's why it's an okay price. This one has a deck issue, so I ordered pulleys, and they're going to take forever to get. And then these 2 are that guy who cuts grass. This is his brother's. That's his. I put a new tire on this one today. I had planned on putting on 2 tires, but he started talking about money issues, and so I thought, well, I'll just do 1 tire because this one, the one I took off, was horribly cracked and leaking. So this one is not. So I just left it alone. He may be mad about it, but I told you in a video, I don't know, a couple days ago, he never gives me time to work on anything. He never has money, and the mowers are just falling apart. So I mean, what can you do? So I try to budget everything the best I can. What else is going on? I don't think anything. Oh, yes, there is a big news. This is what I wanted to make the video about today. So, got a call from a potential customer. Now, when I talk to a customer, if there's something that I think that they can fix on their own, don't get me wrong, I would love to have the money, but it's just, for them to have to drag it over here, take it off, it takes me 5 minutes to fix it, then they have to come back, you know, they got to get their son-in-law to help them move it because they don't have a trailer, you know, all that stuff. I would rather help them out and let them know that, hey, I don't just want to steal your money. I want to help you. I want to make a, you know, help you solve your problem. So he calls and says it dies after a half hour. So when you hear that, it's one of two issues. It's either the gas tank is not venting correctly, so it draws a vacuum, and eventually gas cannot be moved to the carburetor anymore because it's just under a vacuum. The other issue is could be ignition coils, means you're not getting any spark. Well, this is a 2-cylinder, and if you have an ignition coil issue, usually it will stay running with 1 cylinder. It's not good for it, but it will stay running. So since he's not talking about backfiring or sputtering, it just dies after a half hour. You know, when the ignition coil goes out, it goes out within 5 or 10 minutes. I mean, it's quick. But a gas can vent, it may take a while to draw a big enough vacuum where that fuel pump won't pump it anymore. So anyway, I told him, if you crack open the gas cap, you might be able to determine if it's drawing a vacuum. You know, if it runs for a half hour, dies, you know that's not it. If it does run for a while longer and doesn't die, then you know that that vent on that gas tank isn't working. So I try to help folks out and do that a lot. One time somebody asked me if I could adjust their zero turn because their handles weren't lining up correctly, and I just sent them a video on how to do it. It's something that they can do it, you know, on their own, and they were appreciative. You know, I lose money that way. I could have, but in the end, I think it builds a community. You know, the community becomes more trustworthy. But the big news is, he called me and said, the hardware store owner, which is a big deal, says, I do great work. I do great work. That is just huge. Absolutely huge. This is the second time that I've heard anything about the owner himself. Now, there's a gal that works there, actually 2 gals, but the one gal has pushed my name out hard. She's the one that made me get business cards and all that stuff. Well, then the second one, she started helping me out also. And then well, now the owner, what it was with the owner, he sells Husqvarna lawnmowers and weed eaters and chainsaws. So somebody brought his Husqvarna over to him and said, can you repair this? They see, we don't have a repair shop. This was on a Saturday. So the gals were not there. He says, drop it off. There's a mechanic in town. I'll get it to him. So Monday, when the gals were there, he asked them, who am I? So he called me personally, which that was just great. Now, the thing is before he called me, the entire store, except the 2 gals, and sometimes they're hot and cold. Sometimes they're in a bad mood, sometimes they're in a good mood. So, but they were always very cranky, very suspicious, and I just didn't like going in there. But now everybody's always friendly. There's one gal there that's still kind of hot and cold, but everybody's overly friendly now. So I'm wondering if the boss told them, hey, be nice to him. He has a business here. So that's just big news when the owner of that hardware store, which is a significant person in this town, as long as I can keep his trust, that'd be great. So if you'll click this up next box, it'll take you to a video on my other channel. I'd appreciate if you go check it out. So hope I can inspire you to make people happy so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.